This is Duck Show Studios. Warning, this video contains my opinions. You have been warned. Warning, this video also contains spoilers. So, today we're going to review Season 23, Episodes 11 through 15. Let's start things off with Free the Roads, written by the one and only Michael White. Now, in the words of Chris Paul from Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, this is art, and today I am teaching art. And in art, we don't make mistakes. We just make happy accidents. This is a happy accident. Accidentally colored this black when it should be red. Accidentally blacked out the windows completely instead of having some yellow. Yeah. So there's Bulgy. And let's just start things off. I love Free the Roads. It's the best episode of the season. And not just the season. The best episode of all Big World, Big Adventures, in my opinion. It is a perfect episode. Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. That's my rating. Really great episode. Written by the one and only Michael White. Love his writing. He always writes some of the best episodes, like Hunt the Track, Free the Roads, Heart of Gold, which we'll get to in a minute, and more. Out of Sight. Deep Trouble, which we'll get to in the next video. So let's start off things with saying we always can use more Bulgy. Oh, more Bulgy is always nice. Never have too much Bulgy. Now, so Bulgy is taking passengers to help Birdie, and Bulgy sees passengers going on Percy, and he says, "Free the roads! Free the roads!"
I'm not blocking the road. You're blocking the rails. You can't stop at a railway crossing. That's dangerous.
This must end.
How are you going to do that? Stop all the railways from running?
Exactly. Then the buses can save the day.
And then a fantasy sequence where Birdie is like Robin and Bulgy's like Batman. Holy double-deckers! Get it? Might be a bad joke. I don't know if you find that funny. I don't know. Anyways, after the fantasy sequence, Bulgy after a series of events, a bag of soil lands in the water tower. Bulgy was the only one who saw it land. So Gordon is ill, so is Thomas because of the dirty water, and Rebecca's held up in Vickerstown. So Bulgy takes the express passengers. But then he takes more passengers. And then Birdie breaks down, so Bulgy has to take his passengers, and Bulgy says,
"No problem at all. I've plenty of room." Oh, must go on, must go on, must continue on. Oh, my axle!
And then that's the picture I drew.
Wonder what could be wrong with my axle. You've overloaded your loading capacity.
And then
it says, why did I ever let a bag of soil contaminate the water tower?
And then he gets confessed.
Uh-oh, did I say that out loud?
And then he gets pulled away by Thomas, and Thomas says, well, at least you can agree there's one thing railways are good for.
I still think roads are better.
The only thing, this episode is flawless. 11 out of 10. The only thing that could have made it better is if Duck appeared. Because, Duck and Bulgy have that whole hero-villain thing. It would be way better if Duck appeared. But, not way better. No, I don't mean that. It would be better. It was perfect. This episode is perfect. There's no flaws in it. Great episode. It is flawless. I love Free the Roads. Now, let's get to another flawless episode. Heart of Gold. Also written by Michael White. Here's Toby. Here's Duck. Why Duck, you might ask? Well, I want to get on the topic of former STEAM team members. Edward, Henry, and Toby, and Duck, well, Duck's arguably a former STEAM team member, have been shoved to the side. Edward had a very prominent role last season, but only appears and speaks in STEAM Team to the Rescue this year. It's his only speaking role. One special. That's not much. Henry, only 2 episodes this season. And Toby, I don't know if he speaks in STEAM Team to Rescue, but 1 or 2. That's not good. And Duck only speaks in Panicky Percy. And we'll get to that in a bit. I really wish that they'd get more screen time. Hopefully David Stoughton will give them more screen time in season 24. But yeah. So this is all about Toby. Brilliant. And it's really good. So Toby has to work at Ulstead Castle while Stephen's away. So yeah, I'd really like to see more of Edward, Henry, Toby, Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver, Toad, Bulgy, and Philip. Those are the characters I really want to see more of. That can be a separate video if I ever make it. If I ever make it. Toby is working at Ulstead Castle for Stephen. When he meets passengers, they say he looks like a garden shed on wheels. They keep saying I look like a garden shed on wheels.
And I'm called a coffee pot. But it doesn't matter. It's what you do here at the castle, not what you look like.
Glenn's right, Toby.
I can't really do Millie. So Glenn and Millie are in this. Nice to see Millie, Glenn, Diesel, Toby, all those guys. Then Two Thieves, voiced by Ian McHugh and Rob Rackshaw. Is this going to be a thing now? Every season there's going to be two of something voiced by Ian McHugh and Rob Rackshaw. In season 21 we had them as sea servants. Season 22 we had them as tiger poachers. And in season 23 we have them as thieves. And then they say,
When will we see King Goldred the Golden Crown?
you will be able to see the crown as soon as Toby gives you your tour. And then Toby gives them their tour. Then he hears something at night. Oh, I sort of got it mixed up. Sorry. And he sees the thieves and he says, "Stop, thieves!
Crumbs, we've been rumbled."
And then he chases them in a handcar. He's gaining. But then they cause him to almost, like, they throw this bar on and it, like, makes him leap off the rails a little. And he says, "So long, you old shed!" I think I can do pretty good thieves' voices. Then they get caught and Toby says, "Caught you. Now, you villains, hand over and deliver what you have taken." And then Toby is a hero. Great episode. Flawless. 11 out of 10. Panicky Percy. This says good, because the fantasy sequence in this episode is actually good. So, it's snowing. Nia reminds the engines of her and Thomas in China and how the avalanche happened. Percy's worried an avalanche could be around every corner. I think this is a really good episode. So Thomas doesn't return to Natford. Percy's worried where he is, so he goes to Duck's branch line in search of Thomas. And I really found Duck's role in this underwhelming. I would have liked him to do more than just hum and grunt. Like, oh? Really? I really wish he'd have more of a role. That's his only role this season. I'd really wish they'd use Duck more. He's such a great character. He's like the best character in my opinion. He's so great, and I really wish he'd appear more than just that. Hopefully season for the 75th he gets a bigger role. Yeah. That aside, Percy looks for Thomas. He tells Duck to get the Sodor Search and Rescue Center. So Harold comes, but then Percy ends up derailing himself. And then everyone comes, and Rebecca looks for Thomas and says, "Has anyone seen Thomas?" "I have," says Thomas. And everyone comes. Well, not everyone, just the Steam team plus Duck and Henry. Nice to see Henry and Duck in this episode, even though they only had very small roles. Nice to see the Steam team, I guess. And then Harold finds them, and then Percy says, "Where's James?" Hey, why wasn't I invited? Like, why do you say James? Of all engines, why not Toby? Like, it would make more sense if Toby was there. Come on, character diversity. Yeah, as you can see, I'm a bit underwhelmed with the character diversity. No, Duck barely appears. No Toby or Edward or Philip or Paxton. You know, the Steam team. That aside, good episode. 10 out of 10. And this says, if you can't read it, Diesel and Friends. This episode was hilarious, the fantasy sequence, but let's get to that in a sec. Diesel's in trouble. Sydney offers to help, but then Den says, "No, Sydney, you have your own jobs to do." And Diesel says,
"Why am I the only one who gets into trouble? I can be as useful as any engine, maybe even more useful. Den, Dart, Sydney, and Norman. Sydney, Norman, Paxton, and Philip, and Diesel number 1. Let's go, go, go on a big world adventure. Let's go, go, go explore with Diesel and his friends. Let's go, go, go and meet new friendly faces. The world's just a train ride away. Big world adventure. Diesel's and friends, big world, big adventures.
that is hilarious. And there's crows and rats instead of the cutesy monkeys. That's hilarious. And Diesel he does like a redo of the intro. So he tells Rebecca, like, the Big World Big Adventures theme song, except Diesel. And Diesel tells Rebecca to deliver all the cargo to wrong places. And we get really nice character diversity. We see Terrence and Scarlet and Peter Sam. It'd be really nice if we get a narrow gauge episode. It's nice they got some dialogue, but it would be really nice if we got an episode devoted to Peter Sam or an episode devoted to Scarlet. Terrence is nice to see. Millie, Norman, Dan, Dart, Sydney, Paxton, Philip. All nice to see these characters. Great episode. 10 out of 10. Lorenzo solo. Now, Lorenzo and Beppe have quite a bit of personality, I'll give them that, but not a huge personality. Lorenzo can be a bit conceited, sort of, and Beppe is coach, and they love singing opera. So Dame Bella's coming to Italy, and Lorenzo wants to pull her, and she doesn't want to go in Beppe, so he takes another coach and ditches Beppe, and Gina pulls Beppe. Lorenzo gets lost, and with Dame Bella, and Dame Bella realizes she can't be without her orchestra, and Lorenzo realizes he can't be without Beppe. When I first watched it, I didn't really like it, but after rewatching, I like it. 7 out of 10. There's Lorenzo, and wanted to get Beppe in there too, but he wouldn't fit. Good episode. Thanks for watching.